Okay, I know the title is kind of dramatic, but honestly, when I first heard the news, it's kind of how I felt. This video was meant to be a sketchbook art challenge. I couldn't stop feeling bummed out about the news, and I wanted to make this video because I'm sure I'm not the only one who, when they saw these changes, initially thought,
Well, what's the point?
if you're a small creator on here like me, then you were probably in the same boat, that you had your eyes on the little monetization milestone and you were slowly creeping your way towards it. And then these changes came along and it feels really disheartening. So before I get into kind of how I feel about it now that I've had some time to think, I want to talk about my initial reaction because I feel like I won't be the only one who felt this way. And I know for a fact I'm not, because I have been seeing and talking with other creators about this. So kind of first things first, it sucks. It sucked to see, and it still kind of sucks now. Just to pause for a second, if you haven't heard about these changes, here's the basic situation. Starting February 1st, 2027, YouTube is wanting to increase the requirements for those who want to access AdSense in the YouTube partner program, basically. And at the moment, hitting that threshold, you need to have 4,000 hours of watch time and 1,000 subscribers. So now with the changes, thankfully the subscriber part isn't changing, but the watch hours is doubling basically. So we're going from 4,000 hours of watch time to 8,000 within a 12-month period, which for someone who, has just kind of been trucking along doing their thing, this is a massive, massive change because I have not reached the 4,000 watch hours and now it's doubled. Awesome. The requirements for shorts has also changed, but because I'm not really interested in becoming monetized through creating shorts, I'm not really going to talk about it in this video, but it has also significantly changed. So I do really feel for those of you who are, doing your thing through shorts. Yeah, so basically the bar has doubled, which doesn't feel good. And it kind of left me feeling like, why am I bothering? Like, I haven't even hit the first milestone and now you're telling me I have to do double that. It already felt like the initial milestones were a lot. So now they just feel enormous. As someone who's been putting out videos for a couple of years now, for the love of it, I will say, it was never a focus to become monetized as fast as I could. I just really enjoy making YouTubes, and so numbers have just slowly crept up as I've gone along. But even still, 4,000 watch hours is not nothing. So 8,000, it's crazy. I'm sure many of you feel the same way. You're maybe closer to hitting those milestones than I was, and now suddenly it's getting pushed out. It just feels like the goalpost has been moved, which it has. That's actually what has happened. And it feels like a bit of a kick in the teeth because the algorithm's not really on our side for small creators, especially in more niche fields or, even just art in general. And so when you're not kind of regularly bringing in a lot of views and subscribers, it makes a big difference, these jumps in numbers. And as I was getting closer to some of these things, I'm only a couple of hundred subscribers off 1,000 now, which is so exciting and it means so much to me. So I don't want to take away from where I am at, but realistically, I was able to see the numbers change and think to myself oh, just a little bit more, not much more to go now. Maybe this time next year I'll be in a good spot, or maybe I will make another video that in the past has has done really well. Just to like keep things moving along, keep it snowballing. It felt really rewarding, really exciting. Like maybe you're one video away from like a breakthrough that just boosts you that little bit more, which makes all the difference. You know, the thoughts go on. And then, yeah, with the finish line being moved, and not even just a little bit, like a lot, like going from 4,000 to 8,000, I remember just being shocked and feeling kind of panicked, like, is there any way I can make this happen before February? Is there even any point? Like, what am I creating? If I've not hit the original milestone by now, like, I potentially will never hit this new one. All these kind of snowballing thoughts of feeling really discouraged. And even I found like a lot of jealousy was creeping in when I thought of other creators in the same space who I've seen really blow up like quite quickly, or just have like really consistently been putting great numbers out there on their subscribers and in their views. And because it suddenly felt like there was this immediate time cap on when I should be hitting these milestones, seeing other people do really well did make me feel jealous. And I had to check that, because I know it's just an ego thing of like, oh, well, I can make good art as well. Or, you know, I've been doing this for X amount of time. I should be there. And it kind of robbed me for a moment of the reason why I do this. Like, I I love YouTube. I was a YouTube kid back in the early days. I've made so many different channels throughout the years doing different things, and I've had ones with my sisters before, and I've always come back to I love making videos, and it doesn't really matter what the outcome is, because I keep feeling this, being drawn back to creating. And with this change and feeling really panicked, it made me only focus on the numbers and thinking of like, oh, I should just stop because I'm not making any money, when that was never the initial thoughts to begin with. And those thoughts have only really crept in so heavily because of this news. When you have these milestones, don't get me wrong, I would love to be monetized. I would love to get there eventually. However long that takes, that's fine. But I think that would be really exciting and awesome. And because I do know what milestones there are to meet, I do look at my analytics. And recently, I've kind of been looking at them and thinking, like, what's wrong? Like, what am I doing wrong? Why isn't this working? And I think the hardest part about being a small creator is seeing others in your community do really well and feel really proud of them. But in the same token, it can make you feel really crap about yourself, I'm not gonna lie. And I think it's just taking this moment for myself anyway, speaking personally, to take a beat and realize that both can be true at the same time. I can be really excited for my fellow small creators here, watching them become monetized and have like great interaction and community is really cool. And I can feel that way, and I can also still hold space for like disappointment or, wanting to improve myself, and not have it overlap in this gross, like, jealous kind of feeling. And I wasn't feeling any of this way until this news happened and these milestones got pushed out, and suddenly I was seeing this massive gulf between me and this goal that I was happily trucking towards. So that brings me to, how do I feel now? I've actually been trying to adjust how I feel about this, because at the end of the day, I can't do anything. I'm not going to make up these numbers before 1st of Feb. And I don't want to feel shit about what I make, because up until now, I was feeling really excited about the direction of my channel and the stuff I was creating. So I don't want to sit in this feeling of just like, YouTube, like, I'm over it, I'm giving up on it, whatever. And I think something that this might feel a bit counterintuitive, but what has really helped me to feel more at peace with myself and my channel is, my biggest realization is if I'm not currently getting anywhere near my 4,000 watch hours, then this change doesn't actually change my day-to-day life. You know, like it's not like I was a few hours away from being monetized, for instance. And that sounds like ridiculously obvious, but it it grounded me a lot, because it's so easy to conflate where you should be, or like feeling like you've been robbed of something, when it's like, girl, you weren't even near that yet. Relax. My reaction initially felt like something was being taken away from me, and in reality, that's just not the case for me. I know that some people were definitely a lot closer to their milestone, and so I know that this will feel different for them, and this perspective might not work. But yeah, they haven't taken anything away from me. I don't currently have 4,000 watch hours. So, c'est la vie. Whether the target's 4,000 or 8,000, how does that affect what I'm doing? It doesn't. I'm still making videos. I'm still wanting to improve. I want to figure out ways to have more watch hours and have people engage more, whether that's through thumbnails or changing titles or whatever it is. I'm still trying to figure out how to balance what I want to make and what people want to watch from me. And most importantly, I'm still at the stage where growth should probably be my focus rather than monetization, you know? Let's pump the brakes and just focus on what I was focusing on and what I was getting really excited for. And another thing that when I thought, oh, maybe I was close enough, maybe I could have bridged that gap and gotten 4,000 watch hours before Feb. And that would have been great to be monetized. Yeah, awesome. It would have been a massive milestone and goal ticked, but it was never going to, like, if I'm only just scraping 4,000 watch hours, I'm not paying the bills with AdSense. You know, I'm not quitting my job. My life isn't changing. I would still have to have my full-time job and create videos just as I'm doing now. So in that sense, I don't believe that I should be perceiving these changes as YouTube telling me you're not good enough, we're raising the bar and you're never going to reach it. But instead, it's just YouTube putting a threshold in that I can still work towards. And when I do hit that number, it's going to feel significantly more impactful. And I don't have to judge myself about how long that takes. As I said before, I'm sure this change has made a lot of difference to a lot of people in a really negative way. And as a result, maybe there are people who are just going to give up on making YouTube. And I would like to hope that you don't, because if you enjoy making YouTube, yes, money from it would be awesome, but if it's for the love of the game, you got this, and we can hit that new milestone. And it doesn't mean that as a small creator, there is no option of making money until you hit that new threshold. You could still get sponsorships, you could still promote your Etsy stores or whatever. There are so many avenues that we can still participate in for making money, that this change doesn't have to mean that small creators can't earn anything. And honestly, I think that's all I needed to hear from myself, because I started this channel because I love making videos and I wanted to experiment and I wanted to see what I could build here. And I'm really proud of what I've achieved so far. And I am excited to keep pushing and keep changing and seeing what I can do. And yes, obviously being monetized eventually would be amazing. I'm not gonna lie, that would be awesome. And I'd love to hit 1,000 subscribers. I feel like I'm so close, and that's really exciting and worth celebrating. You don't have to hold off on celebrating yourself for these external goals or for these external milestones. Like, you've made a channel, that's huge. You've put out a video. Amazing. You have people watch it. You have people subscribe. These are all incredible things. You've put yourself out there. That in this day and age is not easy because there's so much backlash on being cringe or being a tryhard, and it's hard to cut through that and do what you want anyway. So celebrate yourself for the small wins. So if you're a small creator and your initial thought was, screw you, YouTube, I'm done, like, what the hell? I understand. I felt the same way. I do think that YouTube could be more supportive of us small channels. I would love to hear what your thoughts are. How has this affected you? Were you close? Were you still far from hitting those initial goals anyway? I would just like to say to myself, but also say to you guys, like, if you haven't hit it before Feb and it changes, we're not necessarily behind. We're just on our own journey. We're here for each other. It won't hold us back or stop us from creating the life that we were excited to create, hence why we started making videos in the first place. So we got this, guys. Keep building, keep pushing through. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't. Let me know in the comments how you're getting on, and I'll see you next week. Bye.